How you doing, YouTube? Matt, Master Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. A little bit of Budweiser in your life today, in the form of Goose Island Brewing Company. It is their 2018 barley wine, but not just any barley wine, the coffee barley wine. Yeah. Aged in bourbon barrels. I have not reviewed a Bourbon County in quite some time. Even in the last one I think I posted, I reviewed that I think like 4 to 6 months earlier. I just skipped them this year. I pretty much said everything that needs to be said. I mean, every year is going to vary quite a bit, but you know, with them pasteurizing stuff, is it going to change all that much? Sure, barrel's going to change, all that stuff, but I felt no need to do it. A couple of people asked me to do them, and I picked one up, actually, going, you know what, I'll pick it up, fuck it, I'll do it. And I said, you know what, fuck this, I just want to drink this beer, I don't want to review it. So that's what happened to my Bourbon County. But this actually comes courtesy of Chuck. Thank you very much, brother. He sent me off a bunch of Illinois-based stuff, and this is in a package. So I get a beer via a viewer beer mail, and I am going to review it. If you guys are going to go out of your way to send me these beers, you know, pro bono, if you will, then least I could do is fucking yammer on about it for a little bit. So what do we have here? We have Bourbon County brand coffee barley wine. A barley wine aged in bourbon barrels with coffee added, 2018 edition. Let's see, made with Intelligentsia Finica La Soledad coffee beans. I think I did really good on that, actually. Usually I butcher any of that shit. That's it. 15.1. She's a sipper. And, yeah, this was bottled in September 2018. The 22nd. It is January 18th or 19th. So we are almost in, like 6 months, right? No, September, October, November, December, January, 4 months. Math. So yeah, she has a little bit of time on her. And I'm going to tell you this right now, and I've said this when they relaunched and redid this bottle. I still think these are some of the better, slicker, cooler bottle designs in the market. The tag is so synonymous with the beer, it just stands out. People know what it is. I like the embossed kind of glass. I dug the older bottles, technically, because you got more beer for your buck, but I've always dug these labels. So, I mean, when you have a billion dollar corporate budget for marketing, you're going to come up with cool shit. So, yeah. Yeah, coffee barley wine. I can't remember the last time I had a coffee barley wine in general. I mean, I have barley wines all the time, but coffee ones, not so much. What does that look like? That looks like a barley wine. A little bit redder. Probably most of the barley wines I really dig on well, they are red in color. They tend to have a little bit kind of more murkiness, a little bit of more brownness to it. So it definitely has red in color. Actually, I think the last Bourbon County beer I reviewed was the barley wine, was it? I don't know. I'll have to go back and check. And I think the last time I had the barley wine from Goose Island, it was the infection year. But we'll see. Not much of a head. There was a head there to begin with, but it's dissipated pretty quick. It's understandable. Combination of the barrel aging and the adjunct of the coffee in there. But she looks like a barley wine. Sure. See what kind of legs she got. Oh, yeah, buddy. Got a little bit of blue blocker action going on, so she definitely has some legs. She knows how to use them. ZZ Top. What are you going to do? Let's get a nose. That smells pretty nice. To me, it smells like an overly sweetened kind of imperial stout with not a huge roasted malt component. I mean, you could tell there's a bit of oomph to ABV, but it's not overly hot. There's a huge bourbon component. It's a rich red fruitiness, cherryness kind of floating around in there. Again, not overly hot, though. Yeah. She smells like a barley wine. The coffee comes off very subtly, not too huge, and I would say it would come off a little bit more kind of fruity rather than roasted. I mean, she smells like a big barley wine with a little dabble, a little touch of coffee and that nice kind of big, rich, red kind of bourbon character to it. So let's go dive in. Cheers. Somebody's getting drunk tonight. Yeah. It's a barley wine. Ooh. Yeah, she does have some heat to her. So a little bit of kind of warming going on in here. A little bit of pinchy burniness. The coffee is not gigantic in here. I get it. I get it, but it's very much a second or third player in the beer. First things first. It's a very close tie between is it all barley wine, is it all barrel? It's not all of either, but I mean it's a big, huge barley wine. You get that. It's just sweet on sweet on sweet. But that bourbon is there. That barrel. Let me rephrase that. Rewind. The bourbon is there. There is a soft vanilla character from the barrel, but that's pretty much it. I'm not getting a big barrel char component. Not getting any kind of coconut or vanilla. I mean, not vanilla. I get a little bit of the vanilla, not coconut, not any char. It's very much rich red bourbon, cherry kind of fruitiness with a nice little dollop of vanilla, which is, it's weird because it feels like the bourbon's getting eerily close to the barley wine. It's actually like, it seems like they're mimicking themselves. Like there's a little barley wine character to the bourbon, but there's a little bit of bourbon character to the barley wine. It's giving me those kind of vibes. So they're getting lost. It's a difference between a beer's being cohesive with the barrel as opposed to being very close to what the barrel is. Now, the coffee portion of the show, which is probably the thing that most people kind of freak out over when it comes to this beer. It's not like what you'd expect when it comes to a coffeed beer. The coffee comes off very cold pressed, comes off very, I don't want to say it comes off like Dunkin', but it comes off as like a cold coffee. Not even cold pressed coffee, like an iced coffee. It doesn't come off as like big, robust, charry, big, roasty coffee. There's a nice roast to it, but it's infinitely more fruity, infinitely more fleshy. Sure, the barrel and the beer itself are probably helping me along in those kind of thought processes when it comes to the coffee. But you get the coffee in there, but it's coming off like a cold coffee, like a chilled coffee, with a big kind of grain, under-roasted kind of beaniness. I kind of dig it. Listen, is it my favorite barley wine in the world? Let's cut to that chase and just talk about it because I think I'm pretty much done with what the beer's all about. It's big, it's boozy, it's sweet. You get the booze, you get the spirit, you get the kind of did like a little hiccup there, and I got this like huge pop of coffee. I don't know what's going on there, and I haven't had coffee for hours, so it's coming from the beer. Weird. Anyway, Where did I leave off there? Oh, overly sweet, but it's a barley wine with a bourbon barrel, so what do you fucking expect? It's got a nice mouthfeel. It's sticky, but it's not thin, but it's not thick. And the coffee shows in an interesting way, but it's not the way you typically expect coffee to express itself. But with it being a barley wine, it just ends up being a beer that I kind of dig, but, and here's the shocker, I know this is going to blow some of you away, I wish it had more time on it. Listen, barley wines are meant to be aged. That's it. You know what I mean? And it's not a matter of, like, how do I put it? It's not a matter of, like, the beer's too big, or barley wines in general are too big to be drank. I just think they just, there's flavors to be developed that you just can't produce unless you give a beer time. Now, that's a little counterproductive to this one, being that there's coffee in it, but you never know. Coffee's a weird mistress. I mean, a lot of times she can drop out, but sometimes she'll surprise you and stick around for quite a bit. So I'd be curious to see what this tastes like with time. But yeah, I like it. I dig it. I think it's fun. It's a really fun, well-made barley wine. There's really, nothing I could sit here and get crazy negative about, but at the same time, there's a lack of excitement of it. I don't think that's me with preconceived notion that it's an AB product. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I just think I like my barley wines old. I like them robust. I like them with a little bit of pizzazz. Let's put it this way. This is way better than a lot of the recent barley wines that I've had. And by that I mean I've had some people send me kind of their local barley wine from random places, and a lot of them have been misses. They've just been straight up sugar water, lacking any kind of depth. So that in and of itself is very... This one is not that. It has character. It has depth. I just want it to be, I want it to be, I want it hitting 40 home runs and starting an all-star game. I don't want it to be like a utilitarian player just kind of sitting on the bench and coming out and doing his thing, Come on. I want a little bit of excitement. Barley wine, you're talking about 15%. This is hair on fire territory. This isn't tiptoe around the tulip stuff. So I like it. I dig it. It's fun. biggest redeeming quality for me is probably the way the coffee shows in it. It shows a bit unique, but all in all, I think it would improve with a year or two on it. At the same time, the coolest part about the beer, I think, right now is the coffee. I think you'd lose that, so, can't win for losing. So there you go. Let's see. I already talked about one of the better barley wines. It's in the conversation, but it's not towards the top. Value and availability, it's Goose Island, big bottle like this. The coffee edition, I don't know, $16, $20? I have no idea. And leave you with, if you like what we like this, definitely not brewery only, I can tell you that much. And if you like what we like this, if you like barley wines, if you like bourbon barrel aged barley wines, and you like coffee barley wines, it's going to show all those things to you in a nice, fun package. It just, I don't expect to be wowed, especially if you like your barley wines to have a bit of oomph to them or have an aged version of it. Unless this is really old and you find one, 5 years from now. And that's going to be pretty fun. So there you go. Another review in the books. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice little InBev product right now. And hope to see you next time. Cheers.